Well, good evening, y'all. Welcome to another Thursday Night Live. I don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of glitching going on backstage, so bear with us. Hopefully, we can make it through the live stream. Okay. Sorry about the late live stream. Had some technical difficulties, so bear with us as we try to figure it out. Sorry, everyone. Uh, Welcome, Mariah. Welcome, TJ. Great to have you here.
Hey everybody, that was looking a little grim there, vibes, but you saved the day, my man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was a little worried that we were going to go live tonight. It was really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But
we
now
are here.
it's showing that we're live right now. So hey,
Sam correctly diagnosed it before we all did that it was all my doing that caused this here problem.
okay,
So
all right, fair enough.
he's figured it out. I can't hide it anymore. I was the source of all the problem.
Yeah, and it started off late. Hey,
I
those in
know.
Texas or in the South, I should rephrase that. Where it sounds, the weather doesn't sound too good, too favorable for beginning next week. Anyways, the reason that first thing I'm late, I did my normal grocery shopping, you know. Anyway, it wasn't normal grocery shopping because everybody was there trying to get the last minute things, and the bread was totally wiped out. So no bread this week, I guess. A lot of other stuff was wiped out. So you just have to hint in Texas about a winter weather storm. That's all you need. And I think the store's gonna be wiped out. So, anyways, it took me longer than I expected. And then the technical difficulties that we had, yeah, it put us 20 minutes behind. Ouch. So bear with us. It might be an interesting live stream tonight. Anyways, let's start over. Refresh. Okay, we're back on. Welcome everyone. Let's go ahead and welcome everyone to the stream. Sorry, everybody. That was a different spell. Alright. Robert! Hey, no! See, we're ready. We're in the evening. Are you going to ice skate on your pond this weekend? I don't want to think about that, Robert. Anyways, welcome, Robert. Alex! Someone poke Eddie. Yes. Welcome, Sam. Thank you. Wi-Fi. Welcome. A little bit. It smells late in here. It does. And of course, we got TJ. Boots and Cats. Welcome, Rachel. Good to see you. Sorry, I'm a little flustered. Anyways, moving on. Mark Stilson! What's up, mate? Geek Boy, welcome. Jeff, welcome. You guys. Bunny Viper! Welcome. I don't know about y'all. I like comments. Hey, you know what? I'm in that mood. I'm gonna beat some of them. He's still putting his face on. Checking on car cheese, I'm sure. Yeah, actually, I picked up another 2 containers of cottage cheese at the store. So yeah. Okay. Back to the welcoming everybody in. Technical difficulties, y'all. Yep. For those that don't know, I do have the best moderators on YouTube and the best co-hosts on YouTube. So that's why we're live tonight. Craig, welcome. Here in a little bit, I'm gonna we'll just go to the topic.
Wait, you skipped Nathan's comment when he said we were all looking handsome and beautiful.
Oh, Whoa,
Like that
thank
was
you.
handed to us on a silver platter. We're gonna ignore that comment? What the
I
heck,
guess.
Vibes?
Hi. I, Dee, welcome. Hashtag tricks. Foxy. Hey, Vibes and everyone. Hashtag tricks. Welcome. All right. If I missed your comment, y'all, I'm sorry, but I'm like way behind. Scotty Aquatic, welcome. Cool, welcome. Landon, my man, welcome. What's up? Nathan, welcome. Uh, Pet Sonics. Yes, I like that, Alex. Eddie, call up Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, and have them fix the stream. Yes, it'd be a breeze then. Mr. Kelly, welcome. Linda, welcome. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there and go with the topic because we don't get too late on this. I'll get back to the chat in a bit, y'all. All right. Topic tonight. For those that should have known, look in the tip of the week. To find out if there's a topic of the night, of the evening, or the live stream. What you do is go under on the upcoming live stream and hit more. It says Thursday Night Live #17. Right below that, it says more, and click on that more, and it will pull up. And if there's a topic, it'll be right there. Anyways, I just thought for those that don't know ahead of time,
You heard it here, folks, ladies and gentlemen, from the man himself.
For those that didn't check it out, well, there it is. Topic of the night is: do your aquatic pets need to go on a diet?
Another good one tonight, Vibes.
Thank you.
And this really, I think it stemmed from a discussion that we were having maybe backstage a week or two ago, where we were just kind of having general conversation. And I think we realized, as we have for a lot of our topics, that I think we do things a little bit differently. And so we came up with this idea of talking a little bit about our feeding habits in a fairly broad sense. And so I think we wanted to kind of delve into that a little bit tonight, right?
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Shady Grady. Bad weather coming. Run on cottage cheese at the supermarket. Yeah, Shady Grady. Hey, at least I have cottage cheese to survive on. Well, I didn't say that, but then again, maybe I did. Nana Quinn guy, welcome. Benoski, welcome. Right. Hey y'all, got good news. Down about the chat. Okay. TJ, you want to take it off with the topic tonight?
Yeah, sure. So I think, again, this started with some discussion that we had earlier in the week, or I guess it was, like I said, a week or two ago, where we had just sort of talked a little bit about just general fish keeping habits that we have, and food came to be the topic. And so we thought it was a worthy thing to talk about is, how do we go about feeding our fish? What's our methodologies? I think, Mariah, you brought some of your favorites along with you that you can share with the group. First, understand, not sponsored. These are just things that, we, as you, I think, have come to all expect from us. We talk from our experiences. Doesn't mean it's the right way for everybody. It doesn't mean it's the only way. So we just thought it would be a really interesting kind of banter back and forth here, because I think that there's definitely some differences, right? And so where the conversation really started was around frequency of feeding. And I think for every fish keeper that's out there, you may find a different way in which they think about feeding their fish. And this is one where, Vibes, you and I are very different, very, very different, right? My approach typically is, unless it's baby fish, because I think you guys probably at this point are sick of hearing about, the fish breeding that I do and the baby fish that I've got going right now.
But it's
Those
awesome.
are, what's that?
It's awesome, bro.
I love it. Having such a good time and watching them grow up, and it's so much fun. But I know I talk about it every week, right? And for me, right, baby fish, it's a different matter. Those are usually, I try and feed them early stages, is roughly 3 times a day. Now, the white clouds are 2 months old. I've pulled back to roughly twice a day, and that seems to be working. They're growing. They're doing really well. My adult fish are usually a once a day and probably 1 day a week where I don't feed at all. Just give them the opportunity to kind of reset, do some sort of get everything kind of out of their system. Again, right? I'm not a scientist. I'm not an ichthyologist. I'm none of those things. I can't say that it's founded in science. It's founded in a lot of things that I've read and seems to make sense, and things that other people that I respect in the hobby, be it in our community, in my fish club, other sources that I've used, have talked about, and it makes sense to me, right? So I would consider that to be a very regular kind of feeding schedule, meaning frequency regular, right? It's something that happens, darn near every day for my fish. But Vibes, this is one where, again, you and I are extremely different. I think your take is completely different. So I'd love to hear from you, and let all the folks that we've got here with us tonight hear, what's your take? How do you think about feeding your fish from a frequency perspective?
From the frequency perspective, okay, this is what I do. Now, when I started, I did not do this way. When I started in the hobby, I fed my fish twice a day. And the reason that changed, it was like an ongoing thing of fish dying daily. It's like a normal thing. Like no, this can't work. I started doing some research into that, and so many people had told me to back off from feeding so often. I started doing that, and the survival rate of my fish was from 5% to 90%, like within a week's time. So then I started thinking, you know what? We need to put them on a schedule. How often should I feed in a week's time? Anyways, right now, 2024, it started last year when I really got down to the nitty gritty part of that. I feed three times a week, every other day. So that might, 1 week it might be two times. Or anyways, you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly the same every week. But I'd rather skip an extra day of not feeding my fish than to add another day of feeding. Now, since I've done that, my survival rate is 100%. No issues at all. The water clarity is crystal clear. Before, I was doing water changes all the time. Okay, I still do water changes. Don't get me wrong. And also, that my fish's health, since I've done that, the diseases that I had prior, like back in 2022, that was really bad. Those are basically extinct. It's not happening anymore because the extra food is not sitting in the stomach, becoming bloated. Different kind of parasites can dwell there as well. And by at least every other day feeding, we're also cleaning the whole systems out. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, it's humans. If we eat all the time, eventually we'll be sick as well. That's why the thing is, go on a diet, everybody. It will help clean your system out. Now, there are things you could eat or drink, same with the fish, that will clean the systems out. But if you just feed less, you don't have to go the extra route to do that. Anyways, that's where I get to that point of frequency of every other day. 99% of the time has worked for me. So, anyways, that's my spill on the whole thing. Sorry, that was a long rag.
No. That was exactly what I wanted to hear, right? Because when we talked about it, I think my reaction was like, wait, what? It just sounded to me very foreign because it's different than what I do. But hearing you explain sort of the journey that you went on to figure that out, I get how you got there. And let me be honest that, I mean, this is probably going to be sounding terrible, but I 2 summers ago, I went on a cross country road trip. I was gone for 2 full weeks. I had prior experience where, you know, I don't have any family or real like close to me friends geographically to come here to feed fish regularly. And so, you know, I used back then when I first had gotten back into the hobby, the vacation feeders. The fish never ate it, right? So I recognized that obviously wasn't effective. And they went 2 weeks and they were fine. And so I also feel like there are situations where if you go away for a week, you know, again, baby fish, different story. They're growing. They need constant food to kind of keep the metabolism going and kind of continue to grow. Adult fish, though, I don't think is necessary. So I can relate very much from that short time period with kind of your less feeding methodology, because it does work. It's just when I think about sort of the average day to day, we're just very different that way. Mariah, what's been your kind of secret to success when it comes to frequency of feeding?
So for me personally, I feed quite frequently actually. I usually feed at least 2 or 3 times a day. And I know it sounds pretty excessive, but I feed lightly 2 to 3 times a day. And they get a variety of different foods throughout the day as well. So I think and another thing that I mentioned before to somebody that they thought it sounded kind of crazy was that 2 days prior to water change, they don't get any food. So for 5 days of the week, they get 2 to 3 feedings a day. And then 2 days before their water change, they get nothing on both of those days. That way it gives them a chance to really purge their system, get everything out, get it out into the tank or onto the substrate or into the filtration, what have you, prior to doing their water change. And then it kind of just resets their system from there. But speaking on the variety of foods, I did,
Yeah,
as he did
let's
mention
do it.
earlier, bring some stuff for show and tell.
This is gonna
So
be
I will
good.
tell you guys some of the things that I've used before.
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna go ahead and put you on full screen.
okay.
Let's do this.
So when I first started the tank that's downstairs that you guys are pretty familiar with by this point, I was using the Omega-1 pellets. Um,
Good stuff.
I had really no clue what I was doing is when it came to food back then. I just bought what the first thing I had recommended to me was. So I got the Omega-1 cichlid pellets, the super colored, and I got the floating ones. They didn't mind them. They ate them, but the thing was that these are fairly large pellets. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. These
What
are
Yeah,
size?
perfect.
let's see. It says medium, but it doesn't tell me exactly the measurement. Oh, 6 millimeter.
Oh, so that's pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, so they're fairly large. So I would kind of crush them up in my fingers a little bit. That way it would make smaller pieces. But I didn't like the way that they seemed to be behaving when eating that food. Um, I really love Hikari. Hikari is one of my favorites brands.
Mhm.
They love this stuff. The cichlid sinking cichlid gold. Goodness gracious, I couldn't talk.
You're good.
And these ones are much, much smaller. These are 3 millimeter to 3.4 millimeter pellets. So these are about half the size of those other ones there. And these are also the sinking ones, which they much, much preferred over the floating pellets. Um, I have tried this as well, the Aquion Nutri Insect
Mhm.
Tropical Flakes with them, which they liked it. They didn't mind it. They didn't really seem to kind of go crazy over it like they do a lot of their other foods. But it was a free sample, and I wasn't gonna turn it down. So yeah,
Mariah, is that
absolutely.
like a Bug Bites competitor in the flake form?
So I would say so, just based on the analysis, the guaranteed analysis that's on the back.
Yeah.
Looking at the analysis, it's almost up there with it, but I would still say that the Vibrobites is a much better or the Bug Bites is a much better protein source for them, just because it's got a much higher percentage of protein.
Mm.
Um, but these are still good. Aquion Nutrinsect is good. Now the last two I'm going to show you guys are their absolute favorites, other than their frozen shrimp, of course, that they get every once in a while. But the Hikari Vibrobites,
Mhm.
they
Yeah, good stuff.
love these things. This stuff is it's like a drug for them. When I drop this in the tank, they go absolutely insane. Um, this one is it's supposed to be very slow sinking. These are very, very tiny. Um, and they are worm shaped.
Yep.
So they uh, they just go insane over it. And last but not least, their absolute favorite and my absolute personal favorite feeding to them is Bam.
You.
Bites. Yeah,
Mhm.
but cichlid formula. They this is their go-to. This is the main thing that they do get fed every single day. Um, this is what I drop in the tank every single morning before I head off to work. Um, and every once in a while, if they're begging just just on my nerve enough when I walk into the room after work, I'll drop just a tiny little bit more of it in there with their other food, just because
Mhm.
they love it so much.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I kind of
Definitely.
spoil my fish just like I spoil my dog. But as long as it's not excessive and to the detriment of the animal, I think it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to we all find something that works for us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And for me, again, for most of the tanks, it's once a day in the evening, and that is something that I do. I also it's my opportunity to sit down in front of the tanks, watch them, see what's going
Mm,
on. That's as much as checking on their health as it is me for my own kind of like a mental health break, right? You come home
mm,
from work and I want to sit there and just sort of watch what they're doing, and it's just very peaceful and exciting. So I tend to drop the food in, take a seat, sit there for a few minutes, move to the next tank, and kind of repeat that process. And uh, at each feeding, I do try and rotate around. So I've got a flake, I've got the bug bites, the community granules, I guess is what I'd call them, right? I picked up at the Keystone Clash, which is coming up, by the way. So anybody who's interested in hanging out with some of your favorite fish tubers, myself included. I'd expect Eric Wyrock to be there. I'd expect Dee Dee hopefully to come. Vibes and I met first time in person at the Keystone Clash. That'll be the first weekend of October, the 4th to the 6th, here in Morgantown, Pennsylvania. So that's the plug I will put in here for that.
Thanks, bro.
But at the Clash I picked up from Super Cichlids, they were selling bags of their black worm, freeze-dried black worm cubes.
Yeah.
And so I bought a bag just to check that out. And the fish really seemed to quite love it. So I mixed that into the rotation, as well as some frozen stuff. So Daphnia, frozen brine shrimp, frozen bloodworms. So every day is kind of a little bit different. A little bit different. I see Dee Dee said here already booked her room for Wednesday to Monday morning. Dee Dee, I did the same thing, so we should be good.
Nice.
Biz, it's good to see you.
Hey, Biz, what's cracking?
2 days before his birthday is the Clash. Yeah, you definitely got to try and be up there. We'd love to meet you in person. You guys have. I have not had the pleasure yet.
Oh, we had a blast. It was definitely a pleasure.
Yeah. Eric! Stephen White! My feeding is determined by what type of fish I'm keeping. Aggression levels, whether I'm doing breeding, treating disease, what kind of food I'm using. Hey, Stephen White, that does, yeah, I'll agree 100% with you. That does determine also with the feeding. Yes, thank you. Anyway, welcome, by the way. Here in a bit, I'll show y'all some of the stuff that I use on a regular basis to feed. Since we're talking about a diet, I use more than just these, but this is the common ones that I do pull and feed the fish. Hey, Scotty, welcome. Okay. Now, of course, hey, I'm gonna go ahead. No, you can see it. Of course, you have seen that. Now, this is a little different. This is very, very similar to the bag, basically. Now, the ash content is 13%, which is, I don't recommend that. Hey, I still feed them. Anyways, and of course, bug bites. All my fish love this stuff. All of them. I do feed, a New Life Spectrum. Actually, for those that saw the picture of the thumbnail, the live stream tonight, let's go ahead and blow it up a little better. Does anyone recognize that fish?
Yeah.
That's the fish I used. I took a picture of my, since we're talking about diet, I figured, hey, why not? Take a picture of the fish food and slap it on.
Oh, we just got copyright infringement.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. And this is not a sponsored live stream, so anyways, now this is something that I was introduced to. Okay, I saw it for a long time, many years. This brand, this stuff. Anyways, my local discus breeder introduced this stuff to me. He said this is all he uses for all his discus. Everyone, from the adults to the babies. And he said for the babies, he'll take it and he'll grind it up with his fingers and feed the babies with it, which is perfect. Now, of course, we can't forget for my ventosas, the North Fin. Like I said, it's not sponsored, but I do say that this stuff is pretty good. Now, the ash content is better. It is 9% ash, that's a lot better. The moisture, 9%. It's getting better. Protein, 44%, which is awesome. And all my photoses just thrive on this stuff. Anyways, that's not sponsored. Now this food is a filler food. The reason I call it filler food, it is good on the budget. For those that are on a budget, feeding your fish, feed them something that they can thrive, but not just survive. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, now this is not the stuff I use. Okay, I've used it in the past. Extreme. Extreme's good. But I keep the canister and use Ken's Premium Quill pellets. This is a 4mm pellet. It don't even say the ash content. Anyways, that's also another reason why I don't feed them every day, because I don't want that all that extra bad stuff to sit inside of them. Anyways, this is another good stuff that I wish it was easier to get a hold of.
Ooh, this one I haven't heard of, Vibes.
This is the Seacom. Hey, you know what, y'all? I wonder
That's
how
good
many of
stuff.
y'all have seen my first live stream ever on YouTube. If you have, you already would have seen this already. Because this is what I was feeding my cichlids back then.
Mm.
The only problem I have with this stuff, it's hard to get a hold of in my area. I don't have any issues at all with it. None. All my it says cichlid food on it, right? Cichlid.
Mm-hmm.
I feed it to all my fish: discus, mollies, platies, guppies, fantosas, peacocks, show dwellers, killifish. Even my shrimp will snack on it. Anything that I got in my house or one of my pets, aquatic pets, they'll eat the stuff. Here, let's go ahead, open it up, and show you how it is.
Jorge says that Ken's tends to be mostly what he uses in his fish room as well. I've heard that from a number of people.
Hey, I see that, Fathom. Thank you. That's interesting. I guess my fish ain't very picky. I don't know. It's a pretty big flake. Let's see. If I get it flaked up.
Oh, it is.
That's one of the smaller ones.
That's one of the smaller flakes?
Yeah. Now, of course, there's some little pieces at the bottom, but
Sure.
yeah. This, my local fish store used to carry this regularly, but they went and changed brands to another company. So, anyways. Hey, I'm gonna get me off the main screen. You don't want to see me by myself. There we go. Now, of course, y'all, of all the fish stuff I feed, these two are the ones that I would say that 99.99% of all my fish think it's candy. The bug bites, the fluid bug bites, and the Hercura virus bites. Those two are the candy. And hey, this is my opinion. This is the candy that pellets that gets dry food in the hobby. Now, of course, the frozen food, the fish just, yeah.
They love that.
It's a different ball game. You know what I'm saying? But for the dry foods, this is the candy. Okay.
I have to agree, Vibes. It's definitely the same here. Like with the same with the viber bites and the bug bites. Exactly the same here. It's their favorite, of course, as far as a dry food option. It's by far been the most successful for me.
Yeah, I think the bug bites tends to be the staple that I use for a lot of the fish. The white clouds, the killifish, the community tank. For the cichlids, I don't use it as much because the ones that I have are not surface eating. They tend to like something that sinks a little bit better. And so either I have to kind of make sure to put it under the water with my fingers and make sure that it sinks quicker, or I go with something else more like a flake that I can kind of manipulate the sinking a little bit easier for me. But every fish that eats it does really like it. I frankly, any of the things that I feed the fish all seem to like and have no problem with.
Mhm. Now, when I was saying that the fluid bites and the vibe bites are the candidate, those are the ones that I've tried.
Mhm.
I have not competitive it with. Hey, I know I should be competitive in trying it out, seeing how they react to the North Fin. There's the Creole Pro. There's a community. I mean, there's a whole different variety of stuff that I've got. I just need to try it out and see how they like it. And even the Sarah has reached out to me. But as of now, on this live stream, those two, the Fluid Bug Bites and the Viral Bites by Hakura, are the two that, in my book,
Nice.
so.
Garcia has just entered the chat.
No way!
So I wanted to make sure he knew that I had the shirt that I got from him at the Clash on tonight.
I'm still mad I didn't get a shirt, and I want one.
Hey,
Wait,
God.
I
the
didn't get
Clash?
one at Aquacella, and I want one.
He probably was out of stock. It was a popular item at the Clash.
Hey, Mike, before I forget, welcome.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, if I missed your comment a while back, y'all, hey, ask again. And put, hey, you know what? For us not to miss it quite as soon, put at Vibes Aquatics in front of it. That way it will alert us to the question. But yeah. Well, that was good start of the stream.
Yeah, we got going a little bit late, but I'll tell you what, we I think we came through with a really good type of topic here.
Yeah. Now, moving on. We talked about the pellets. We talked about flakes. Todd, you talked about the frozen food. Has any of us fed veggies, like real veggies, to a fish?
So I have sparingly, because I do have panda loaches.
Mm-hmm.
And they're a bit weird. So sometimes they don't have any interest in like zucchini or cucumber. I've dropped it in before on a fork, and sometimes they won't touch it. Other times they do. So what I tend to do, they really like kelp wafers.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually use those, and actually the nights that I use those, that's all I feed the tank. So everybody just gets a little bit of kelp wafer, and they all go kind of crazy for it. But yeah, the vegetables, at least the ones that I was feeding, didn't seem like they were too jazzed about it. So I sort of stopped. How about you guys?
I have done it once. The only thing I've actually used was zucchini. And they didn't seem to mind it. They didn't really go crazy over it, but I didn't really like how messy it was as they were eating it. It seemed to really kind of muck up the tank a lot. So I just didn't continue doing it after that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sorry,
What about
I
you guys?
saw a comment from Alex. You want ash below 10% unless it's fish with high calcium demand. Yeah, I second that, Alex. And since you mentioned that, I had to go double check how much ash is in some of these fish foods. Wow. Yeah.
You know, it's
You know
funny. I've
what?
actually seen people that
Go ahead.
will some of their granules or like their pellets. I've seen people where they've done videos where they'll actually rinse them. They'll like pre-rinse them
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
then allow them to sit out and dry
Mm-hmm.
and then put them back in whatever container it is that they were in. And it somehow seems to lower the ash content without affecting the actual nutritional value of the food.
That's
Now that's
the premise for that, huh?
I
Hmm.
like that idea.
Yeah.
I didn't thought about that.
I don't know
And
how accurate it is. I mean, of course, I would love
Right.
to see some real testing behind that, but it would be worth it to give it a shot to just try it out in just a small container of water, and do like a maybe a control versus the test one to see if it does make a little bit of a difference within the just the clarity of the water after the fact.
hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I've never tried. Now, granted, with flake, that would be super messy,
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
right? That would end up being just an
Mhm.
absolute mess. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know.
I
Interesting.
don't think I've seen it done with flake. I only saw it with like pellets and certain type of very compacted granules.
Hmm.
Like I said, I'm
No, that
not
makes sense.
sure as to how accurate or efficient it might be in actually
Hmm.
removing even a minute content of ash, but there's no telling.
No, I think it's an interesting topic. I think we'd have
Mm.
to run some sort of experiment to sort of see if it does something measurably different. But
Right.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
hmm,
So, I've been looking at this fish food. Anyway, there's two of them, two parts that I use regularly. That I was just telling you I put in the diet. Anyways, neither one of them is telling me the ash content, which is making me wonder what's up with that.
hmm,
Is it that bad? That way they don't tell us.
hmm. I don't know.
Now like North Fan, Hakura, Fluval, um, those all told me the content, and they were all within reason. That's interesting.
Hmm.
But hey, think about it, Mariah. Since you mentioned that, I'm gonna put that in my notes about rinsing the pellets before that it may lower the ash content or the yeah.
Yeah, see what kind
I
of
mean, it's fairly possible.
I never heard of it, so I'm curious.
yeah,
Um,
Stephen brought up another interesting topic, comment rather, like he does every week when he's here with us, right? He said some of his friends blanch veggies for their shrimp and snails. We did say your aquatic pets. So the one thing that we've talked a
Hmm.
lot about tonight is our fish, but we haven't talked a lot about any other aquatic pets. Now I will say that I am a failed shrimp keeper. I tried Neocaridina shrimp twice, and something that I was doing wrong did not work. They came from different sources. I tried to follow kind of all the recommendations of folks that are out there that provide content around shrimp, including Grant and Shelby, and I still think I wasn't getting it right. And so I sort of, rather than continue a continuing death of shrimp situation, I just sort of stopped. But back when I was keeping shrimp, I would feed a wide range of things. I think they really enjoyed shrimp pellets. And then also, became quite partial to Cat's Aquatics, which is a food that usually is, they're usually like a calcium chip with some other different things mixed in, and
since you
supposed to
mentioned
help
it,
with all of their needs that they've got from calcium and their shells and things like that. So
Yeah.
um, again, I don't keep them anymore just because it wasn't working for me. But again, I
Hmm.
think the concept was similar around the variety of different things. And I know there's other people that keep shrimp and snails, and they feed them all sorts of different types of things. So I think again, a
Hmm.
variety, and there's many possibilities of what might work. I think from a frequency perspective, it was much less. I was feeding them only maybe a few times a week, as opposed to daily or something like that.
Right.
okay.
Which makes sense because I mean, a lot of them, especially shrimp, are filter feeders, right? So, I mean, they're going to be constantly filtering through the water and finding tiny little particles of sustenance that they can actually live off of. So they don't necessarily need that often of a feeding for the most part.
Yeah, they're constant grazers, right? You can watch them kind of constantly
Mhm.
picking from the substrate or plants or the glass. They're going after biofilms. They're going after all sorts of different little
Mhm.
particles and things that are in different parts of the aquarium. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I think that, but when you said filter feeder, it made me think of bamboo shrimp. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're the ones that
Oh,
you
yeah.
see them usually
They're so
sitting there
cool.
and they put their fingers out like this and their little filaments. And so they
Yeah,
catch food in the actual flow of the
Mhm.
water. That to me
they're
is a
so
whole different
cute.
type of thing.
Talk
They're
about bamboo shrimp.
adorable.
I got 3 of them in my community tank right now.
You have bamboo shrimp.
Really? Do you?
They're super cool.
They are. They're big, and then it goes.
Yeah. Right? They're
You
they're
know, guys,
constantly
one of
pawing
these
at the
nights you're
water.
gonna have to give up a tank tour.
I think that's got to be. I think we probably have to do something where we each do tank tours.
Y'all don't want to see my tanks.
Oh,
That's
definitely. I've been
flat out
wanting to see your tanks for a
inaccurate
while.
vibes.
Yeah,
We
Shady.
are fish keepers. Anytime we know someone has a
hmm
tank, we immediately want to see it.
And Curtis has been talking about this for weeks when he comes in here about looking at tanks. So I think there's other people in chat that would
Absolutely.
feel the same. I saw that Dee Dee left a comment for me saying that she hates to admit it. She's taken out a colony or two of shrimp when she first started. Yeah, I don't know what the heck happened, Dee Dee. I thought I was doing everything kind of up to par. It just didn't work, and I struggle with the death, right? I feel like I bring them home and I'm supposed to give them a good environment, and for some reason I can't, and so I had to stop. I just couldn't keep it up.
Right. You
Berto
guys in
said,
the chat, if you guys want to see tank tours, drop a hashtag tank tour in the chat.
nice. Yep, we can certainly make that happen.
Absolutely.
Berto says he feeds extreme flakes and pellets and also brine shrimp and bloodworms. Yep. Jorge says feeds zucchini, cucumbers, lettuce, celery, and carrots to the plecos and the shrimp. Yeah, so all sorts of different vegetables there.
Yeah, talking about the veggies, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I do feed them occasionally as a treat. Now, hey, I might lose about 100 subscribers. I don't care, but I have fed fruit as well. The only reason I backed off from feeding fruit is not that they didn't eat it. The water quality got really messed up. It okay. The cycle didn't stop him like that, but it was very hazy all the time.
Well, when
So
you feed durian to your fish, vibes.
it was like a cocktail, huh?
Gosh.
I was taking a sip of my drink. I almost spit it out. Oh my God.
Yes. I
Yay!
almost got it.
Next
Almost.
time.
Not tonight, boys. Not tonight.
Oh, come on. Come on.
All right. Skate Nona. Hey, Sarah. Welcome.
Hey, Nona.
I like that.
Jorge even says watermelon. Shrimp and plecos love it.
Yes. Everyone
Awesome.
should do a start
Oh,
a
yes.
2024 tank tour. Hey, Adam, you're the first.
I would imagine they would like watermelon, considering it's 90% water.
True. True. Okay. We talked about shrimp.
Like,
We
the
talked about
water
fish.
Nice.
How about snails? What do y'all feed your snails regularly? Now, hey, since I've mentioned it, I'm gonna start it off quick. I feed these to my snails as well.
Yeah.
Now my one tank of killifish, I've kind of had extra of these pieces in the bottom of the tank, and well, the snails have become very very happy, and we populated the tank, which hey, don't bother me. But anyways, that's just a side note.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I the snails that I have are all like pond snails, bladder snails. They've come in usually on plants or something like that. I'll be perfectly honest that I don't do anything special to feed them. I, try to feed the tank, and they seem to be able to find what they need to be surviving. So I kind of leave it at that. I don't have, mystery snails or neorites or anything that I intentionally bought to bring home. So yeah, I just it seems to be working. They certainly haven't been dying, and also not populating like at a ridiculous level. So I feel like there's a nice level of kind of consistency there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Personally, I've never actually kept snails in my own tanks, but however, when keeping them at some of the retail stores that I've been at, we never really did anything special either for the tanks, for specifically for the snails. Like you were saying there, TJ, there were different species. We had nerite snails, mystery snails. At one point, I even had ordered in some assassin snails. Kept them in a completely different tank, though, away from the full system, because I know that could have been not good. But like you were saying, we didn't really do anything special for those tanks either. Just kind of fed the tanks, the communities, like they would be normally. And all the snails did really well. They grew at very normal rates. They were populating well. It got to a point where I really didn't even necessarily have to order any more snails. Even though we were selling them on a regular basis, I didn't really have to order more in because they were populating themselves that well by just being able to find what they need in the tanks.
Yeah, so
oh,
basically they were kind of a self-contained population at that point. You would sell
Pretty
some, they
much.
would kind of continue to repopulate. And
welcome,
Exactly.
Agent Z. Good to see you.
hey, Rick.
MB Reef, welcome. All right. Yeah. Now the tanks that I do have snails in it. Okay. Tanks that I do want snails in them to thrive. I do feed a little extra when I do feed, and that usually fixes the issue. The Hey, they're the clear crew, so it's part of the ecosystem, y'all. You get what I'm saying? Uh, uh, hey, do it. I don't know if I asked y'all this though. Do any of y'all have turtles?
No
No.
turtles.
How about any other aquatic pets besides the ones we talked about?
No, everything I've got is fish and then the occasional snail. How about you, Mariah?
No, I don't keep anything other than fish right now. I've kept turtles, of course, in stores, which typically, when feeding them, it was a combination of a dry pellet and dry shrimp.
Hmm.
And then also they would get live feeders as well. They would get live feeder comets, the little goldfish.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
which I mean, a lot of people were very hesitant about, but I mean, if we're honest about it, it's gonna happen in nature regardless. So it's you know, I mean, why not? Um, and also, I feel like it kind of taps into their natural instinct in a way to be able to have that predatory kind of nature instead of just seeing a pellet drop into their tank and going for it, you know. Which to each their own. Everybody has their own ways of doing things, which is
Yep.
fine. But I don't know. I think they enjoyed it a bit more as well, as opposed to the dry pellets and shrimp. But that's just my
It,
personal opinion.
well, it certainly is a
I see
different
somebody
type
asked
of
about aquatic frogs too.
stimulus, right? Yeah. Yeah. Diego asked about frogs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you kept aquatic frogs? I have not.
I haven't
only in
either.
stores.
Yeah.
We have kept African clawed frogs
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and oh god, what are the other ones? There's another one. There's another species that we kept as well, and I can't think of the name of it right now. But um, the African clawed frogs were so stinking cute,
Mm-hmm.
very mischievous. They used to try to get out of the tanks all the time and just jump around from tank to tank if you didn't have the lid on properly.
Oh, geez.
Excuse me. But again, even with those, they seemed to enjoy the flake food pretty well.
Mm.
The regular tropical flakes that we fed to the community tanks that they were in. Um, and then every once in a while, if I got some tiny enough crickets, I know it sounds insane, but every once in a while, if I got tiny enough crickets, I would drop one or two of those in there, and they loved those things.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting. Great.
DJ.
Grady says that his turtle loves to hunt and eat live crickets as well. So
All right.
similar to kind of what you're saying, Mariah. Hey, Sal. Good to see you.
Now, we didn't talk. We didn't even hit into saltwater yet.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you got me
That's
on
where
that
you
one.
lose me, but I would love to
Yep,
hear what you do.
All right.
same.
My feeding schedule, frequency, etc. It's a little different than my freshwater systems. Now, these guys, I'll feed them. Uh, Sometimes I might feed them every day, no issue. But on the average, it's once every other day, like the freshwater. Since it's easier to have a schedule for all my tanks, you know what I'm saying? Now, hey, there's something that's gonna throw you guys off. I'm gonna show you a fish food that some of y'all might not like with me, like I say. Here we go. It says on the front, New Life Spectrum Cichlid. Guess what,
Yep.
y'all? I feed this to my saltwater fish.
Nice.
They eat it, they like it, no issues. Now, this is the only thing that I feed them on a regular basis. Now, occasionally I'll give them my shrimp or some other treats, but on a regular basis, this is all I feed them. Hey, I've been doing it now for the past 3 years with 100% success. So, anyways, now am I mean not giving them a variety diet? Maybe, but if I come to the tank, I put these in, they gobble them right up like the candy. So, to enjoy it, why change it? You know what I'm saying? If it's working, don't break it. So, yeah, that.
So, yeah, when I think about that,
Go
the
ahead.
question that I always sort of ask, right, is when companies market a food to a particular type of creature, we'll say,
Mm-hmm.
in this case, fish. The first question I kind of ask is, how is the formula different? Because sometimes I think you'll find it's size of a pellet or size of a flake or something like that, and the formula doesn't change, right? And so in a
Huh.
case like that, what you're talking about, right, Vibes, it
Yeah.
ends up not mattering.
Okay, here. Since you mentioned it, I got an old container of the salt water.
Yep.
Same brand.
Yeah.
Now, since you mentioned it, I got to compare it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here we go. It's the same brand. This is sold to as saltwater fish, right?
Yep.
Okay. On the back, the first ingredients, both of them whole Atlantic krill. Next ingredient, giant squid. Third one, wheat flour. I mean, most of the ingredients are identical, y'all.
Yep.
Okay, the protein. Same protein, same fat, same moisture, ash, etc. Identical. It just has a different picture on the front. Now, hey, if you're doing something and it's working for fish, don't change it, okay? Just because I'm saying it differently. But most fish foods are targeted. Right. So we're talking about it. It's a little spiel about that. For instance, Frontosas, right? Cichlids. You can feed skinny fish. Hey, there again, first ingredient, the same as they put in a lot of other fish pellets out there. Bites. It shows discus, quite a few cichlids, South Americans, and some platies, mollies, etc. The second ingredient, there you go. It's krill. Same thing. Let's go with bug bites. Now, of course, this is going to be different. It's the fly lava, which now I cannot tell you that I've tried this on my saltwater tank yet. But hey, since we're talking about it, that might be the new trial for this year. Try different stuff. Now, this is a totally different ball game. This stuff. Hey, I've only used it for the past 6 months, so I can't, really expand about that. Okay, the extreme is another one. The second ingredient is krill. Most fish foods named brands is krill. Either the first ingredient or second ingredient, and most stuff. But anyways, back to it. Just because the picture shows something does not mean you cannot feed to other fish. It's basically making it. The goal is to make it easy for the beginner. They got better. Oh, we gotta get better flakes, better pellets, because of the picture, right? So
we've had a couple of comments about that have said better pellets versus kind of the regular pellets.
Hey, hold on, y'all. Since you talked about it, I got it better.
And while you're doing that, Skipper just popped in. So thanks for joining us.
Welcome, Skipper. Okay. We got the extreme better pellets. This one thing I have not done yet was actually look at the ingredients of better pellets.
Yep.
Extreme.
Yo, Vibes, real quick, when you just popped out of the balloon there and the way your chair was just kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
That was a moment. That was a moment right there.
Yeah. That was good. This is good. Anyways, back to okay. Back to the consensus. Extreme better pellets. Now, of course, it's a smaller pellet. Let's see if you can see it. It's a 1.5 millimeter, which is, of course, that size for the fit better. Makes sense, right? First ingredient is krill. Like I was saying, a lot of fish pellets and flakes, the first or second ingredient is krill. So, now, even the protein is a lot of these name brands, Extreme, Hercera, Northfin, Seacom, Fluval, even Kim's Fish. Most of these have the first and second ingredient, the same thing. It's just different sizes. Like Todd was mentioning, different size means different fish. So you got big Fantosa, you gotta feed them. Huh.
Yep.
You gotta feed them the big pieces of pellet. You know what I'm saying?
Diego made a comment. Not necessarily for fish food, but talked about medicines, right? And so Bayer, which is a German company that makes medicines for humans and animals, and he talked about the contents of they make like an aspirin, like a pain relief product, and said, look, in the contents is the same of what makes up the formula of the medicines for both the humans and dogs. So
Right.
it's kind of similar concept to what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, even just the same thing. For instance, Benadryl. They sell doggy Benadryl at my job, and it's the same exact ingredient as
Mm-hmm.
regular Benadryl or generic Benadryl that you would find on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing goes with quite a lot of different medications for not only dogs, but like you said, TJ, and fish and a lot of other animals as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty
Yes.
cool.
I saw your commentary, y'all. Yeah, it is a marketing strategy, and it works.
Absolutely.
Because that way, hey, for instance, you got discus, so you got one of the discus on the front. Then you got
Mm.
a peacock. You got a peacock. Then you got a Fantosa, so you buy another fish food. There's Fantosa on it. Oh, then you got rainbow fish, so you get another fish food.
I was going to ask, but wait a second. That's a different type of rainbow fish than you have, Vibe. So where is your Bosemani rainbow fish food?
Exactly.
That's not right, because that right there, that fish back there that's behind you is beautiful, and he recognizes that you are not feeding him his appropriate food right now.
That's right.
I just want to tell you that we have identified this as a huge problem tonight.
Major issue. Shame on you. How dare you?
We are going to have to talk about this during the week and get this rectified before next Thursday.
Yeah.
I will not rest until your Bosemani is fully cared for.
Absolutely.
Better is
Justice for the Basmati. We need to get him his correct diet.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to go on a diet. He needs to get the right diet.
He does. We have uncovered the real message of tonight's live stream right here, quite by accident.
Absolutely.
Hashtag save vibes is Bosemani.
Absolutely. Hashtag save vibes Bosemani.
Stella D! Woo! Welcome! Sorry, I got so excited. I haven't seen you in a Coon's age. How you doing? Happy New Year. And I did see in the chat, does anyone feed live foods? Shady Grady, that's an awesome question. The problem is, we don't have time to talk about it. Hey, you know what, Shady Grady? I'm going to put it in my notes. And we definitely talk about it. Is my audio going wacky?
You got a little bit of feedback all of a sudden.
I drop an earthworm in there every once in a while. To answer your question.
Oh. Look at you. Okay.
Okay, that's weird.
Yep.
How about now? Is that working?
Better.
Okay. Mariah, yeah, there's echo coming through. Okay. While you figuring that out, I'm going to quick add to my comp about the live foods in my notes. Hold on, y'all. And hashtag Buzzmania. Oh, hashtag rainbow. Hey, hashtag rainbow. It'd be easier.
Yes. But I give you credit for coming up with Bosemania.
And for those going to Ed's live stream here in 3 minutes, Ed, chatting to Ed, put hashtag rainbow. Okay. And hey, Ma, do you mind dropping the link for China to Ed's live stream? Here, I'm gonna put in the chat the hashtag. Why not? Hashtag rainbows. There we go. There we go. That way, hey, it's not. Let's back up. Let me do this. Okay. The reason this hashtag, it's only not for just the host on the next live stream, but also for those in the chat. If you see it over there in that live stream, you know that they also were in this live stream. So it's like a community moving together. You know what I'm saying? And also that way you kind of bounce questions off of your fellow chatters in the comments. Like, hey, what about this? What about that? And you're both in the same. So you know what I'm saying? Anyways, be as it may. Anyways, we'll head out of here, y'all. Thanks everyone for being here. But before we go, Todd, you got something special for us before we head out.
Yeah. Again, another wonderful night. I really appreciate everybody that's joined us in chat. The level of interaction that I think we've seen in the last number of weeks that we've been doing this has been really wonderful. And I think it makes us feel like we are engaging all of you in the conversation. And that's really what we're trying to do here. It's the three of us doing the actual talking that you can all see, but you all are adding so much to it. So thank you. And to my wonderful co-host and fearless leader Vibes, I thank you guys again for another week. It's been great having a chance to get a chance to talk to you guys on a Thursday night. It is one of the highlights of my week. So thanks again, and I look forward to doing it again next week.
Awesome. How about you, Mariah?
I probably still have an echo. I don't know.
You're good.
Okay. All right. Well, as always, thank you guys for being here. Vibes and TJ, thank you for being on with me, and thank you for having me with you guys. As always, you guys treat others as you want to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And may God treat you like you treat animals and elders.
Awesome. Thanks, TJ and Mariah, being co-hosts tonight. Oh, echo. Ooh. Sorry, y'all.
We're good.
Maybe in the future. Anyways, we're back at it. Those watching the replay, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the live stream. Anyways, thank you guys as well. You guys are rocking. Thanks to all the members. Thanks to all the moderators. To all everybody that was here. Thank you for coming out. And let's see if I can leave the members a special video. We'll try it backstage. It wasn't working too well, but hey, anywho, let's go drop some nice. Hey, let's remove the banner. There we go. Some background music. How about that? There we go. Peace out, y'all.